Alright, it's 7:04. It's been a couple minutes since I shot. The big tall one was the first one. That's the one I originally wanted to shoot. But after looking at him, he wasn't as big as what the pictures made him out to be. So I shot a different one. When I was standing up, he heard me and he spooked and went, and I got to draw. And then one of them stopped back there at about 40 yards, and so I let it go, and I heard it smack him good. So I called my brother. He's going to call his buddy. They're going to meet me at the house, and then we're going to come over and try to track them. So that'll give them, 30-40 minutes to lay up. It sounded like a good hit. It felt like a good hit, so we'll see. Alright, so it's next morning. We searched quite a bit last night until, well, probably about 2 hours, and we never found any blood or anything, so decided to call it quits. Came back this morning and started looking for him. Still didn't find any blood, so I started grid searching. And what was really making me sick when I watched the video last night, and I watched it about 10 different times, and you've already seen the video by now, so you already know, but there was a branch in front of the camera that I didn't see when I set it up yesterday evening that was preventing it to focus like I needed it to. But I watched it. I can hear the thud when it hits the deer, and you can see where the arrow flies through the frame, and looked like it was a good hit. It might have been a little bit back, but it looked like it was a good hit. So I was kind of confused why we weren't finding blood. So did my grid searching and found him this morning, but it's not the deer that I thought I had shot. When I watched the video back last night, it looked like when I had drawn my bow, the buck that I thought I was shooting, which was the third buck in line, the bigger one, that was not the big tall one that you saw blow and run in the video, but the third one that was kind of wide and tall. I thought it was him. Apparently him and this one switched places, so this one's just a little 6-point. Body looks like he could be an older deer when I got up to him. I'm going to get him out of the woods when my brother gets here, and we'll get a better look at him, and we'll video him and everything. I didn't take my camera when I went looking for him because I didn't have high hopes, since we didn't find any blood last night, on even finding him. So now I'm kind of torn on the effectiveness of these iron will single bevels, because I thought they were supposed to leave a good blood trail, and through the whole search process, when I found the trail that he ran through, found the leaves he'd kicked up with his hooves, I only found 4 drops of blood. Four drops of blood, and it looks like it's a complete pass-through. I'll look closer when we pull the deer out and we're able to look at him a little bit better. So if that's the case, I'm kind of disappointed in spending over $200 for 6 broadheads and them performing worse than broadheads I was paying $40 for 3. So I don't know, we'll see. We'll take a look at the deer when we drag him out here shortly, and then when I get him out in the open, I'll video him for you to see. So kind of some back history of what's been happening since deer season started. So on first day of season, October 1st, that evening I was going to climb into the stand and had hopes of these bucks coming by, the ones that I shot. They've came by every single evening during shooting hours, including last night. On the way into the tower blind, the top step broke. I fell through the step, landed backward on the step behind me. I've got a huge bruise on my right hand hip. My left and right legs, well, my left and right legs, my legs, my left leg's got a whole bunch of scrapes that are scarred, bruised, or that are scabbed over now. My right leg's got a bunch of cuts on it. When I fell, my shoulder went up and dislocated. I took my pack off, dropped it to the ground, and it went down. When I was taking the pack off, I guess it hit my elbow and kind of pulled my shoulder back into place, and I heard it pop. I've got very limited range of motion in my right shoulder right now, and that's the shoulder I use to draw with. So that was the end of my first day of season. Went home, relaxed, went to the urgent care. Urgent care refused to see me. They said they didn't have an x-ray technician on staff, even though they claim they have x-rays on site at the location I went to. So I just went home, rested the Saturday and Sunday. Monday I left work early because my shoulder was still bugging me. Went to a different urgent care. They took several x-rays of my shoulder and determined that it had been placed correctly, and that the muscles were just really strained at the moment. And he told me it would be at least a week before I would have the ability to shoot my bow again. And I've noticed the last couple of days the deer had been coming later and later in the evening, so I was kind of getting antsy that they were starting to switch to their fall patterns out of their summer patterns. That usually happens around here about the 15th of October. It's full moon last night. Sometimes the full moon phase has a play on that, sometimes it doesn't. But the barometric pressure was high. It was at 30.28, I believe, and rising at 4 o'clock. I think it was 30.3 or something by the time I got out of here. But just a little before 7, I saw them coming through the woods. Shooting hours was over at 7:26 last night. At 7 o'clock is when I took my shot. Looking back at things, I would have done a little bit different if I'd known it was going to play out the way it did, but you know, we all learn and live. But that's why I think I got mixed up on which deer to shoot when I was drawing back, because when I draw back I had to look away to get my shoulder to pull my bow back correctly. It still hurts quite a bit. If I'd had to have a follow-up shot, it would have been really painful to do that. Alright, so we got him out, the boys come and help, so we got my nephew Cooper, we got Hunter. They wanted to come help find the deer, and here he is. So we're looking at him. Haven't took his jaw out yet, but pretty sure he's going to be about a 3-4 year old deer. Just by looking at him, he's got his brisket's kind of sagging, and that's what happens after about 3 or 4 years old. They start sagging a little bit, and he's got a real dark face, just real dark colored compared to the other deer. He's kind of little. He's got some decent mass for the size of the deer he is. So that's kind of another factor that makes me think he's a little bit older deer. So good genetics to get out of the herd. Definitely a good deer, especially with the injury that I've got on my arm. And thanks for watching, guys. If you like these kind of videos, like and subscribe for more.